Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Joey the Veiled Cottage Witch, and today we're going to do a new moon in Cancer reading for the collective. This Cancer new moon is something really special. It's highly emotional, which is nothing new, but it is a time to focus specifically on emotions that deal with home and family and self-care specifically. So Cancer corresponds to the Chariot card in Tarot. And specifically this new moon and the Chariot card together, I've been getting the signs and the signals to come home to your home frequency. And if you don't know what your home frequency is, it's your personal power. It is the frequency that it's your vibes. When you go to some place, like I didn't vibe with that crowd, or I didn't vibe with that book or that song or that band or that crowd, yada, yada. That's your home frequency. That's what we're talking about here. So it's time in this new moon in Cancer to come back to your home frequency. So we're going to explore that today. We're going to explore your inner world, your personal power, your home frequency. We're going to set intentions around your emotional well-being and how to nurture that. Nurture your home frequency, nurture yourself and your emotional well-being. So if that makes sense, stick around. We're going to read for the collective on that specifically. So I hope you stick around for that. So this spread I have chosen as my home, as an ode to my home frequency, the tarot deck that I learned from. As above, so below. If I want to come back to my home frequency myself, I am going to work with the tarot deck that I learned from, and this is the classic Rider-Waite deck. So there it is. So I'm going to choose to perform this spread with my original Rider-Waite Smith deck, and then I'm going to use an oracle at the end as a message from Spirit. I'm going to use the Spellcasting Oracle cards because they're just so pretty. They speak to me emotionally. So yeah, we're going to use those at the end. So this spread is going to be 6 cards in the shape of the Cancer crab. You know, I like to be creative. So we're going to look at what new emotions are emerging, where you feel most vulnerable, how you can create more emotional safety in your relationships. Then down below that, for our second claw of our crab, we're going to look at how you can nurture and care for yourself, how you can create a sacred space in your home, and then what is your highest intention for your emotional well-being. So let's get right to it. I've got my new moonstone, my rainbow moonstone. I've got some sodalite, some what is this? I totally forgot what this is. Aquamarine, and some more moonstone, some sodalite, some lapis lazuli, It's a blue lace agate, some really nice, soothing, emotionally soothing stones with me today. Boy, I love the classic Rider-Waite. When I was trying to decide what to use today, I'm like, there's nothing like the OG. Nothing like the OG, especially when you're trying to set the intention to come back to your home frequency. Absolutely. All right. Let's get our 6 cards. All right. Here we are. Here's our crab. Oh, you can't see them all. All right. I got my little bitty deck so I can see everything. And get our message for in the middle. Well, okay. Am I clumsy, or is it just all these cards want to talk? We may never know. Oh, that's perfect. All right. I'm going to address this elephant first. This is perfect because the Chariot card, the motive behind everything that he does, every movement that he makes. And let me just get, since he didn't come out, I am going to fetch him out of my deck here. So all of this will make, so there he is. So the motive of the Chariot card, which is, Cancer, is to move forward, and everything he moves forward for is for his family. So everything in the deck, every card in this spread, rather, is for family. Every motivation, every single card, every meaning behind the Chariot here is for his family. And so I love that. So I'm just going to put right there. Beautiful. So all the spell work that you do this month for this new moon is targeted and aimed toward family. That's beautiful. And if your family is just yourself, that is included. That if you are by yourself, you yourself are your family. If your family is your friends, that's your family. Family can mean so many things. If you have a family of spirit guides that work for you or with you, that's a family. If you have a family of pets or familiars, that's your family. It doesn't have to mean a cookie cutter, mom, dad, sister, brother, all of that. A family is what you make of it. So that being said, let's go ahead and read our first card. So what new emotions are emerging for you? Well, you feel a little bit like you're not getting anywhere. This is the World card in reverse. It feels like you're not accomplishing anything. It feels like you're spinning your wheels, and it feels like you haven't gotten very far at all. But really, you have. It just, because you're looking at it from the perspective of you, for lack of a better term, you really can't see how far you've come because you're living in it. You can't see because you are that close. However, if you were to look back at everything that you've achieved, you would see how far you've come. You're not quite giving yourself the credit that you deserve. You need to celebrate even the tiniest little accomplishments that you've made. You know, you've come really very far. And I want to point out that the Dancer in reverse is the Hangman. And the Hanged Man just needs that change in perspective. He goes out into the wilderness and hangs from a tree to gain perspective. And that's all, needs to happen here, is you need to look at it from a different point of view. And sometimes, that means shifting gears a little bit. Put yourself in the position of an outsider looking in, like one of these animals here that represent, the different cardinal zodiac signs, or I'm sorry, the fixed zodiac signs. Look at yourself from an outsider. Haven't you accomplished a lot? I mean, you're here. You've made it here. I love the saying, but did you die? No, you've made it here. You've accomplished that. Self 5, you've done it. And, everyone around you is still alive. You're still working. You're still paying your bills. You still have a roof over your head. My God, look what you've done. So, the pity party's over, honey. You've done it. So get out of the bitter barn, play in the hay, and celebrate already. You've done it. So quit your whining because, yeah, celebrate it. Just because you haven't, climbed a mountain doesn't mean you haven't accomplished some things, Celebrate yourself. Allow that to feel good. Allow yourself to feel good about that. So, yeah, I said what I said. All right. The second card here, the Page of Swords. Where do you feel the most vulnerable in your life right now? Well, the Page of Swords is a student. He's learning. You feel vulnerable because you haven't mastered anything yet. Well, that's okay. You're still learning. You can't possibly master things overnight. Give yourself a break already. You're practicing, and practice makes perfect. Keep practicing, keep trying. Yeah, there's some clouds fogging up your mind. Give yourself a break. That's okay. When I will let you know, when I was learning astrology from my friend Bobby Fierro, the first day he taught me, I'm like, okay, I can't possibly understand all of this. I don't think I can do this. But then I sat on it and I'm like, okay, let's break it down piece by piece. And when I broke it down, I even called him and I said, I get it. All right. And I just had to like let it sink in. You're not going to understand it overnight. You're not going to understand how to do everything and master it overnight. It takes time. It takes study. It takes practice. It takes making a million flashcards like I did, like a huge nerd, but that's how I learn. You know, practice and keep practicing. You will get it, but it's not going to happen overnight. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself a break. It's okay, you know, but don't expect to master something right away. Let it simmer, let it marinate, you know, because the flavor will get in there. It's just not going to get in there in 5 minutes, you know. It takes time. You know, give yourself a break, you know. It's not everything, not everyone is a natural. Let's put it that way. Not everyone is just, oh, I get it, just like that, you know. I remember when I was learning piano, I had this friend who would come over and just like, I was like, how did you do that? And I was stuck in like lesson book 2 of learning, and I was like, I couldn't get past it. And I'm like, maybe I never get past it. And then I quit. But I bet if I'd have let it sink in a little bit longer, I would have gotten better. Don't give up. You'll get it. And then you'll be able to, you know, you'll get there. Just keep practicing. All right. Third card, how can I create more emotional safety in my relationships with others? Trust, baby. Trust. You can create that safety by trusting yourself and trusting your partner. If you can't trust, it's really hard to build that safety, you know. But here I see that trust. I see that partnership being 50-50. There's safety here. If you don't feel like you have that trust, you're never going to have that safety. You have to be able to build that trust. No trust, no safety. And no safety, no trust. It goes both ways. There has to be that equal partnership, that equal trust. If not, you're going to have a really hard time building that safety. Safety and trust, trust and safety. It goes hand in hand. And they both balance each other out too. You can't be safe with somebody if you don't trust them. And you can't trust somebody if you don't feel safe. It's a delicate balance. And that's that hinge on the crabs. That's that hinge. And it's very important. So if you feel safe, you trust. And if you trust, you feel safe. I hope that makes sense to you. All right. Now we come to number 4. How can I nurture and care for myself? And we have the Death card reversed. Let go of the things that no longer serve you. Quit nurturing the things in your life that are no longer good for you. Quit it. Quit it. Quit giving your emotional energy to things that don't serve you. Let it go. Stop holding on to those things. Resentment, anger, jealousy, they don't need to reside in your body. Know why? They lead to kidney stones, liver problems, and they can even lead to things like fertility problems and uterine fibroids and all that. Yeah, I know, it's gross. So stop feeding those things. Release, release, release. Let them go. They serve you not. That is how you can begin to nurture and care for yourself. Come back to your home frequency, because those feelings are not yours. You don't own them. Anger, resentment, jealousy, they're not yours. Put them on pieces of paper and burn them. They don't belong to you. Cut them out, cut them off, burn them. They are not yours. All right, enough said about that. How can I create a sacred space in my home? The Lover's card. Make choices that are the best for your family. I'll say it again. Make choices that are best for your family, for all involved. It's right here, right here. Make choices that are going to be the most benefit for not only you, but for your partner going forward. And you know how to make those choices because we talked about it in the beginning of this video. They feel good in your home frequency, in your personal power, and in your core. If they don't feel right, they're not right. You'll know. You'll know. The Lover's card is always about choices and consequences. If you always choose from a place of your highest power, your intuition, the consequences will always be good. They will always have the best intentions, because you always have the best intentions. And you don't always have to choose by yourself. Your partner can help you. This is family, after all, right? Always go forward with family in mind. That's what this is all about, right? That's what this all is about. Remember what I said in the beginning. That's what this is all about. When you make selfish choices, then the outcome is always going to be one-sided, right? All of this hinges, remember, on your partner and the family going forward. And lastly, what is your highest intention for your emotional well-being? King of Wands. To be able to control your anxiety, to be able to lead and go forward without having all this emotional anxiety. That's what we're trying to get rid of, right? The King of Wands is always so tight. We want to be able to release that anxiety. Your highest intention here is to be able to go forward and lead without all that anxiety, to be able to release that and be able to maybe bring your partner in as a helper to help you release that anxiety, because we don't want to take it with us. I hope that makes sense. So let's recap here. Our family is the main issue that we are working on here. What is best for our family going forward, right? The new emotions emerging, you feel like you're defeated, you feel like you haven't accomplished anything. We're needing a new perspective, an outsider point of view here. Where do you feel most vulnerable? You feel like you are failing, but you just need to give yourself a little bit of credit here and keep practicing and keep trying. You can create more emotional safety in your relationship with that trust and safety. How can you nurture and care for yourself? By letting go of those toxic emotions that no longer serve you. How can you create a sacred space in your home? By making choices that are for the benefit of all. That way the consequences are for the entire family. And then what's your highest intention for your emotional well-being? To be able to lead without all that anxiety. And bring your partner in and let him help you so that you can share the load without having all that anxiety. I hope that helped you. I hope that resonated with you all today. I know I really needed to hear this. So I hope that you guys can move forward. I hope this helped, in your family and in your relationships. Yeah. I hope that this new moon in Cancer serves you well. All of my details and socials and all of that are going to be down below. Please like and share and subscribe and all that good things. Yes, live your best life and live for yourself. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.